I had the opportunity to walk in fashion shows and be in New York and, connect with a lot of different people and creative minds, which just showed me a different world, right? And like I said, if I didn't have that redirection of thinking that I wanted to play basketball and really life kind of redirecting my path, I wouldn't have been able to have that experience of modeling. And now, fast forward, I actually was able to be in a film recently.
Yeah. This is the One Life Podcast, hosted by Todd Lawrence.
Man, welcome back to the One Life Podcast. Let me spell it out for y'all. Number one, LYFE. It stands for what? I'm not going to tell y'all. Y'all going to find out eventually. I don't want nobody taking my ideas, stealing my plans. This is episode 24. And on this episode, we done brought a female guest with talent, great strength, great just freaking energy. When she steps in the room, she brings the light to the room. Each room she goes to, she's came a long way thus far, and she's still going. And I just want y'all to give it up for my guest today, Alexys Naranjo. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Give it up for Alexys Naranjo, everybody. Tapped into the One Life Podcast, episode 24, with your host, Todd Lawrence, and we are back with another banger, man. Some great talent. Thank y'all. Thank everybody who has came to the platform thus far and tapped in with us. And like I said, we're here today with one of my great friends, one of my best friends since high school days. Beautiful young lady right here. She's stepped into the platform to bring y'all some great motivation and inspiration, man, here on the One Life Podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Alexys Naranjo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here and inviting me today
to
be on the One Life Podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for popping out and showing up for me as always. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. And I want to let y'all know, Alexys Naranjo, she's here today. I'm going to start it off right here with her talent that she's brought to the One Life Podcast today, man. She has brought a great business schematic to the One Life Podcast. We're going to get into it. She has her candle business going on called Aura L'Aroma. Great, unique name. I can smell the candle. Yeah, you done smelled the entire room up. It smells delicious. It does. Also, she's tapped into the real estate business. She's a great, how do you say it? Is it a realtor?
A realtor.
Yeah, realtor. Is that specifically for women?
No,
like you know how male waitresses and waiters, is it the same? No.
So a realtor is somebody that is a professional that basically abides by certain ethic rules, right? So compared to like just a real estate agent, there's a difference. A realtor versus a real estate agent, two different things.
What's the difference? The difference
is as a realtor, you actually follow the ethics and like the code ethics of being a realtor with the National Association of Realtors. And there's certain, rules and stuff like that you follow to be compliant and to be ethical as a realtor representing your buyers or your sellers in the market. But as a real estate agent, there's many different things and facets that you can do. You can always have your own rules, but as a realtor, you actually follow the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics.
Right. And what's that all about? The National Society? Yeah. Go ahead.
The National Association of Realtors is really, it's a worldwide thing. So National Association of Realtors, I mean, it is what it sounds like. On a national level, realtors can join to be a member of this platform, essentially. And when you are a member of this platform, you're able to, get assistance with how to become a better realtor to represent your clients, as well as, knowledge pieces to increase your knowledge of the market, as well as, like I said, be able to be ethical when it does come to your clients. It's just really another way to be a better agent/realtor.
Right. Okay, that's very interesting right there. Some interesting information that you gave the people just now. What got you into real estate? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, before we even jump straight to that topic of what got you into the passion and the drive of where you're taking your career right now, let's introduce the people to who you are and, you know, where were you born and like how'd you, you know what I'm saying, your upbringing a little bit.
Yeah. So I have been born and raised here in the Poconos, actually a little town called Allentown. I was born in Allentown, and my mother was able to...
You were born out there? Wow.
Yeah, I was born in Allentown, and my mother was able to bring me to the Poconos, which is maybe like an hour if you're familiar with the area. But it's a more suburban, naturistic type of life. So
definitely
we are in the woods.
A lot of deers, bears.
Yes, the wildlife. They live here too. They live with us in our backyards.
Yeah.
Actually,
we are taking their houses down bit by bit and day by day.
Like technically, we're in their habitat, but we all coexist. You know, we all coexist. But I was born and raised pretty much in this area my whole life, and growing up, you know, I had a very outdoorsy childhood. So being outside was important. Running around barefoot. That was pretty much my childhood.
Yeah.
Being here in the Poconos and
running around barefoot. It brings me to this, you know, back in the day, I know you from back in the day, and you had this nickname called Turbo. They used to call you Turbo or something like that. You know what I mean? Do you get that from running around barefoot and stuff? Where does that come from, the nickname?
I think it's more...
back in the day, that was
It was a family name that stayed in the family. But yeah, running around. It was my
living
character.
Outdoors, yeah.
Yeah, being outside, you know, bike tag, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was really my childhood.
Back then, yeah. How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah. You talking like you up there, like, yeah, back then we was outside running and stuff. Because only reason I say that is because nowadays things have changed with technology. Kids aren't outside running around having fun bike tag. They're on their tablets, on the video game and FaceTiming and stuff like that. So it's like...
It's so different.
Right, yeah, nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's what's up, man. Yeah. And you used to, you know, like I said, we are great friends. So I know a lot about you as an individual. And we're just going to talk about it. You used to play sports as well.
Yeah, like my high school, well, I guess middle school years, very athletic, as you can tell from the name Turbo, running around. It's very athletic and adventurous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very active now. I love my yoga. I love my gym visits when I'm able to get there.
Right. Tell the people, get to it. Get to work.
It's important. We make excuses, but it's important. You owe it to yourself. So just remember that.
You owe it to yourself. That is key right there. You owe it to yourself and the family. Do it for the family. Do it for who raised you. That's big right there. That's big. Right. So now, you know, going through high school and everything like that, you know, you played sports. And how did you come to find like your niche through the journey, through this one life? You know what I'm saying? Because in high school you were playing sports. You went to college, right? Mm-hmm. What college did you go to?
So I went to Lincoln University. I graduated with a bachelor's of psychology and a minor in biology. And
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta clap for that right there. Yeah, that's what's up.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And a lot of debt to pay back.
Yeah. In due time.
Yes.
But it's all worth it.
Absolutely. But through my journey, really, college taught me a lot about life and, you know, being on my own, not being, you know, in this area, just kind of on my own and learning how to become a young adult. A lot of challenges, but a lot of fun times, a lot of connections, a lot of people I was able to meet and connect with, and a lot of experience that I don't think that I would be where I am or who I am without that college experience in my specific path that I've been on.
Right. It created character. It gave you a kind of a bigger broad spectrum outlook on the world and life.
Right.
Going through that college experience, being on your own, you know what I'm saying? I experienced that when I was in the Navy, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't go to college, but you know what I mean? I had that solitary moment of being on my own as well, boot camp and being on deployment away from people. And that creates character and creates like a certain type of discipline for when you do come back and you're on your own and you're trying to find your way through this adulthood, so to say, you know what I'm saying?
It's so true. And I will say that college has shaped me to be who I am today, as well as, you know, my childhood and those that were able to influence me. My family members, shout out to y'all. Y'all know.
Shout out to family.
Shout out to y'all, for real. But through college, kind of how I got into my niche, as you were saying, I started off.
Tell them all about it. Let's tell them all about it.
I started off wanting to play college and basketball in college, actually, because I played in high school, and then when I got to college,
you was a hustler.
I want to play
on that court. I
want to keep playing. I'm very competitive when it comes to sports and just games and stuff like that. I like to hold my own weight and be competitive and make it fun. But you know, in college, I wasn't able to continue to play basketball. So it actually kind of changed my path. And I think, you know, life will do that sometimes. You know, you may not understand why your path will change, or, you know, you get redirected. But in my life, I did get redirected from not being able to play basketball in college. I actually got injured in high school, had a really bad concussion my later years of high school. And then transitioning into college, wasn't able to play basketball. So how I kind of maneuvered through college, I actually ended up getting into modeling, and I was doing modeling for a very long time. Pretty much all of my college years, I was doing shoots.
Alicia Keys over here. Yeah.
Doing my shoots. I was connecting with people, collaborating with different brands. I had the opportunity to walk in fashion shows and be in New York and, you know, connect with a lot of different people and creative minds, which just showed me a different world, right? And like I said, if I didn't have that redirection of thinking that I wanted to play basketball and really life kind of redirecting my path, I wouldn't have been able to have that experience of modeling. And now, fast forward, I actually was able to be in a film recently. So I think, you know, how in life we have these full circle moments. And now as I grow older and I become more mature as a young adult, young woman, I realize that like these full circle moments you have to really just appreciate, and it's really good to reflect. Right.
Appreciate and reflect. And to touch point on what you said just now, as far as in life, you know what I'm saying? You're going through life at your younger ages, and then as you grow, it's like, you know, the path, the road to your success may change many different times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might want to play in the NFL. Like me, I wanted to be in the NFL. Ended up breaking my arm. Couldn't even go play college football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then it's like, entertainment for me has always been a big like interest, you know what I'm saying, acting and stuff like that. So what I'm getting at is how you said that you started with basketball and you went through that and then you found something else through your journey. What I'm saying is the path may change, but the end goal and the mission remains the same in life.
Absolutely.
It should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt to switch up the direction.
Nope.
To still get to the same location.
Right. And sometimes it's not up to you, right? You know, like I said, life has a very funny way of redirecting you on purpose. And like I said, sometimes you may not understand why things are going the way that they're going, but you just have to trust that it's still going the way that it's supposed to.
God did. That's what God did. Have that strong faith,
right,
and belief in your journey.
It's important,
because, you know, just because you want to I'll put it like this, you know what I'm saying? I look up to Chris Tucker and Mike Epps, Kevin Hart, and all those great guys, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, just because I want to be in that same kind of light doesn't mean that my journey to that light is going to be the same. Everybody's journey is going to be different. So don't base your journey off of the next person's journey that you're watching or looking up to. Take tips and notes. You know what I'm saying? That's always a great thing to maybe sharpen your skills on the way, depending on what sport and field that you are involved in. But just always appreciate your moments and how life is shaping for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always going to be different.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, and college, you was like hustling in college too to connect with what you got going on right now. Right now, like I said, you done brought your candle business to the platform, to the One Life podcast, episode 24, you know, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. You started your candle business, but before we even get into the candle business in college, leading up to all of this, you were already hustling. You were already finding a way, because like my last episode I had, which was episode 23, no, actually episode 22, I had Shot by Onias, shout out Shot by Onias, and he's going to college right now. And I kind of, to relate to this, what I'm bringing up with you is, I told him like he has his hustle with this photography going to college, because when you get to college, right, you can tell people it is a challenge, right, when it comes to finding work and jobs, because you're studying all the time, right? How was that experience for you, like trying to find jobs and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, how did you survive through that patch, you know, in college? Like, because, you know, as a new college student,
times are rough. I'll be honest, you know, college
challenging. Yeah.
College, it will humble you. You know, before you go to college, usually, not everybody, but most people, they get a job, right? Or they're working before they go to college, and then it's time to leave for the summer. And now you're in a new place, you're in a new environment, and new people, meeting new friends. Everything is brand new. And it is up to you to figure out how to survive. And my specific path that I took in college was, I've always kind of had an entrepreneur mindset. Like you said, I'm a hustler at heart. I don't know if it maybe starts from basketball, or me, that little girl running around, you know, playing bike tag and stuff like that. But I've always had that hustle in me, that drive of, even though there may not be a job that I can get at the moment, because when you're in college, you don't have that experience, you know, fresh out of high school, you don't have the same experience of, you know, somebody that's been working for years and has that resume, that solid resume. Right. So when you are starting off in college trying to find a job, you're constantly trying to prove yourself that you're worth being there, that you're worth giving that opportunity to that employer, basically. Mm-hmm. But really, you just have to be creative and stay true to you. And for me, I was selling Jello shots. I used to make Jello shots as big batches. I used to make double Jello shots and single Jello shots. I used to sell them for $1 a pop. And honestly, that was my gas money. That was my food money. That was my laundry money. If I needed to put, you know, money on my laundry card, that was how I survived the first couple years of college. And it wasn't right away, right? I didn't move into college and I had this bright idea and I was going to do it. It took some struggling, right? It took some time of, hey, mom,
beauty in the struggle.
Can you send me some money? And, you know, it's like, you can't keep asking. I mean, you could, but for me personally, that independent hustler in me, I've just always been, I think it's important to kind of stand on your own and make a way, find a way. And that was the way that I did it. I made Jello shots. I was able to sell them. At a time, I used to sell cheesecakes, slices of cheesecakes. So I used to get the big pies, and they would be sliced out, and I would put them in the containers, and I would sell them $5 a slice, especially in college, because you only have access to the cafeteria. Maybe your campus has, a fast food spot. I know at Lincoln we had, KFC. So, you know, I could go to KFC, but I was still paying. Either I was swiping my card and I was taking money from my card that I could use, or, you know, I had to figure it out. So with that being said, you know, you have to feed yourself. You have to learn how to survive. And that was my way of doing it. And there was no real dessert. I mean, maybe in the cafeteria you have ice cream. Maybe sometimes they'll do ice cream sundaes or something. But for the most part, you were not going to get a slice of cheesecake. And I knew that. So I was like, you know, let me
where can I get in?
Yeah, let me fill this void of, you know, a nice dessert, a homey feel. And yeah, I was just blessed to be able to think of that and be creative and, again, use it to survive.
Right. That's dope. Yeah, you definitely did. And it brought you all the way to now having your own business going.
Yes.
Called Aura Laroma.
Yes. So Aura Laroma.
And that is a very unique name. And these candles are very unique looking. Like this one stands out to me the most right here. Like you got the clear jar, the orange wax. However you did it in the lab, went to work. The labels are freaking dope. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah, these are very great. So talk to the people about how did you come about starting up your business? What gave you the courage to get going and say, yeah, you know, I got this idea. Let me execute it. Let me get it started.
So really it started after college. I was working in sales and, you know, just still, like I said, trying to survive. I feel like when you're young, you're still trying to find your way, and you try different things. You dibble and dabble a lot, and I've done that a lot with different things. But I've always had an interest in herbal, you know, remedies and natural remedies and aromatherapies and fragrance in general. My perfume collection is very large. I probably have an issue. Maybe to some people.
No, I don't think so. I think all women have the same.
And I'm sure my fellow girlies out there,
likings.
Yes, probably have
habits.
You know, the collection of the perfume. What do you want to smell like today? But really, it started with the aromatherapy. I was really interested. I have so many books. I really like to study and read books and stuff like that with things that really interest me. With my biology background, I've always been into plants and herbal things like I was sharing. And it really started off with the aromatherapy. Like
I like this pumpkin spice one a lot.
Yeah,
this one, I'm about to light this one.
Okay.
I can light
this one.
Yeah,
you can light it. But the aromatherapies, I was really researching essential oils, and that's really kind of what piqued my interest of the benefits of essential oils and how do they benefit the body, and what type of essential oils make you feel when you smell the oil, and what does it actually do to the brain and the body and make you feel. Like, for example, like lavender essential oil will make you relax. It will create your body to just be less tense, just from the aroma of it. And that's a benefit of lavender.
Right.
Now, all the essential oils have some type of benefit, but after reading that and researching that, I kind of started finding more interest, and I started diving deeper and deeper. And really, I wanted to start off selling diffusers with the essential oils. But
what do you mean when you say diffusers?
A diffuser is basically a product that you put water in it, and the water gets heated up, and basically the water, it gets so hot that it turns into steam, and you're able to put the oil inside the diffuser. And when that steam comes out, once it boils up, it actually releases it's basically like a mist, but that mist will have a scent of whatever essential oil you dropped into the diffuser.
Right.
So that was really my main starting point with getting into fragrance and aromatherapies and essential oils and natural remedies, and on a fragrance level. And I started researching it. I started, really looking into the products, and I created this name, Aura Laroma.
Yeah.
And it really started from your aura is so important, right? Everybody has an aura.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has like that surrounds them, that energy that surrounds them, that makes them them.
Right.
And I just thought that it was important to kind of put in the name of what I'm doing, because these scents this is essentially like, your aura is so important. Like if you're feeling down, your aura will show it. Like your vibe or your energy that's surrounding you is essentially your aura.
Right.
The energy field around you.
Right.
And when you have candles in your home, it sets the energy in that room, or in that, yes, it sets the ambiance and the vibe of that area or your whole house. And l'aroma really came from, obviously, the aroma is the scent, the smell, the fragrance. And I kind of just threw that la in there because
you're Latin. You're of Latin essence.
Yes, I'm Ecuadorian. I'm Afro-Latina. My mother, she is Black, and my father is Ecuadorian. So I had to put a little, shazazz and make it mine. Yeah. And that's what I came up with. Or la 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 la. Or la Roma. Yeah. And right now we have 8 different scents that right now there's 3 here, but we do have 8 different scents on our website. You guys can check it out. I also have samples too. So if you feel like, how do I know this smells good? If you're looking on the website, I'd be happy to send you a sample in the mail. And if you like it, I would be happy if you guys came and
y'all gonna love it for real. Yeah, listen, I burned one of these candles and I left it on overnight. I woke up in the morning, it was still burning. And it didn't even finish the candle. These candles last a long time.
So that also has a lot to do with the wax. It's soy wax. So the natural soy wax, it takes a little bit longer to break down compared to like coconut wax or a different type of wax or a paraben wax. And also too, there is a wood wick. So the wood wick is actually, it causes it to slow burn when you light it, compared to if there was a cotton wick in there, it might burn a little bit faster.
Right. Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, something I never knew about. Like, yeah. That's so. What's the process that you go through, like, when it comes to creating your candles and putting it all together and like because these are beautiful. These are very unique. These look like eventually they gonna be over Yankee Candle. Oh. Yeah, they gonna be like, we gonna be shopping in Oral Aroma. Yeah, did you get your Oral? Like, I got you some Oral Aromas. Like, these is the good. Them things called. Yeah, the price gonna go up. So y'all, she just getting started now. So you better tap in now, save a couple, because these is gonna be worth a lot.
Yes,
in a few years to come.
So also too, I was able to really, when I was creating this brand, I really wanted to stand on simplicity, because I think being simple and not overcomplicating things is who I am. That's me. Like, I'm very simple, and I think it goes a long way. Right. Simplicity is like modern. It's very clean, and that's really what I wanted to go for. I wanted to go for a look that anybody could have in their home, whether it be a younger adult or a older adult, any type of home, in the dorm room, on vacation, wherever you are. I wanted to create a brand that is very just simple, but it's enough. It's a statement piece. And I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, you did an excellent job. Excellent. Very excellent job.
Yeah, it took some time. Don't get me wrong. I had this idea, and this is where I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys, is things don't happen overnight, right? I've had this idea in my notes probably since 2019, Oral Aroma, and I never really executed it until 2 months ago. So 2019 to 2024, you can do the math. It's been some time. But
manifestation,
finally, yes, finally I just dove into it. I stopped planning. I just said, you know what? Let's just make one. Let's make one and then see what happens. And then, let's order the jars. Let's look and see what type of jars. And when it came to picking the jars, like I said, I wanted it to be very chic and elegant and classy and very simple, because I think simplicity is everything. And we have the matte black jars. We have the clear frosted jars, and then we also have the glossy black jars. And I also have white glossy black jars. But I didn't bring one today. We're actually all sold out. And you got
incense as well, right?
Yes, I also hand dip incense as well. So those are on the website.
And you got the minis now that you started?
I do have the samples. So yeah, if you guys are, struggling with picking a scent, because what does, lavender embers smell like? It's hard to smell on the website. You can't smell through the screen.
Right.
But you can definitely let me know if you're interested in whatever scent, and I can send you a sample for sure.
Where can they find all that information?
On the website, there is a free sample. You can just add it to the cart.
What's the website?
It's free. It's actually oralaroma.etsy.com.
I'm gonna put it in the subtitles and everything. Yeah,
that's perfect.
oralaroma.etsy.com.
Yes. I have an Etsy shop, so if you go on Etsy and you type in Oral Aroma, my shop will show. And
they also, don't you also have an Instagram IG page for it? Yes,
I do have a business page as well, and the link is in the bio. My business IG is aura.la.roma.
aura.la.roma. Get it right. Let's go. One Life Podcast episode 24. You have it. Yeah. And so Instagram, you gave them your website they could order from.
Yes.
Also, we'll finish off with the candle, because we're going to get into real estate too, because like you got a lot going right now, and it's great. You know what I'm saying? Great motivation for those watching to get started and get going with this one life we're living. But so yeah, making the candles, it's a process. Finding out, what type of style you want to go with. Tell the people, what are the steps if somebody out there who's watching right now, they want to know, how do I start though?
So the main thing is,
like if I want to just start, maybe they don't want to start a candle business,
but
maybe
anything.
Right. How do I start my business?
So any business that you want to start, it takes thought process. It takes thinking about what interests you, right? Because it's going to be hard to maintain a business if you're not interested in that said business or that said topic of what the industry, right? If you don't have that passion, you're not going to want to make candles all day, right? Or if you don't have that passion, you're not going to want to bake all day if you don't like baking, just for example. But any business, you really want to sit down and just write your different ideas out, really think about it. And the first step of execution is really just making notes to yourself and, looking into it, right? Research whatever industry you're trying to get into, research it. Know the industry before you just jump in, because that's how you can, save your time, save your money, and honestly, save your stress level, okay? Because you don't want to just jump into something that you don't know, maybe the profit margin, right, of that industry, or the workload, the time. Like for example, the candles, they take about, I make 10 candles per batch, and 10 candles basically takes me 1 hour to make. So if I have to make 30 candles,
break it down for them.
Yes, if I have to make 30 candles, that's going to take me 3 hours. So one, I need to create time.
This is algebra class. Let's go.
I'm terrible at math, but when it comes to money, I can figure it out.
Let's go.
But when you break it all down, right, it takes 3 hours for me to make basically 30 candles. So I need to find that 3 hour time frame. If I don't have 3 hours to put into it, then how can I keep my business rolling? So you want to look into industries that, you really want to think about these things. How much time does it take to make the product, or how much, turnaround time do you need to either order the product and then ship it out, or, and that's another thing is, how do you ship? Where do you start there, right? If you're going to have an online base, you need to do your research on these online sources. For example, Amazon, Etsy. You have so many different things, you can create your own website, right? You can create your own URL and hire somebody, or if you know how to website design, you can create your own thing. There's so many different avenues out there. It's just picking which one is right for you. And that's important. And really taking the time to research and see, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with this platform because it's cheaper, or it's the best for my situation. And that's really what you want to, how you want to navigate when it comes to creating a business. And don't overcomplicate it. It's very simple. It is step by step. It's day by day.
Right.
Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. If you're like, you get a great idea, right? And you're upset with yourself because you don't have your website, you don't have your product, you don't have your logo, you don't want to overcomplicate it. I think it's important for me, what I did with my business is I made it fun. Right. I did not make it a stressful thing. When I make my candles, I put my music on, I put my lab coat on. I get in like a very creative mode, a very peaceful, creative mode. And it comforts me. It makes me feel like, okay, yes, I'm making these candles, keeping up with the supply and demand of my customers and the people that are, supporting me through this. You keep the ball rolling, but it's day by day, it's step by step. And it's also to, researching, making sure that, this is something that you really want to pursue.
Right. Before
you spend the money on all of the products, spend the money on the platform that you're going to use. You want to really know, what platforms are offering, what they're offering, and how is it going to be most beneficial to you and your business.
Right. Right. So if I wanted to just start, like from what you just said, I could just get started. Like I just get my idea and get my product. I don't have to what about paperwork and stuff?
So yeah, that's what I mean. When it comes to getting started, you need to do your research, right? So speaking of paperwork, if you're going to start a business, when you first start a business, you don't necessarily have to have your LLC, but it is an important thing to have eventually when that business starts accruing money. Okay. Because once that business starts accruing money, you want to have its own name, which is essentially the LLC. And I do have Oral Aroma as an LLC for my business.
Stamp.
And the reason that you want to have an LLC is when it does come down to, say at the end of 2024, I make $100,000 in revenue for my sales. Well, when it comes down to tax season, Uncle Sam is going to be knocking on my door that I need to pay my taxes because I made $100,000 in revenue.
Right.
So
pay them taxes.
When it comes to having that LLC, you're establishing that you have a business and that, with having that LLC, you're able to have more benefits when it comes to tax season, as writing things off, shipping costs and, supplies and maybe gas, for bringing it back and forth to Staples and, dropping orders off or hand delivering orders. Those things are important because essentially you are going to put money out in order to start any business. You have to put money out in order to make money. And with that being said, eventually it does come back to you. But if you don't have that LLC, it may be a little bit challenging to write certain things off because you don't have that LLC.
So get that LLC once you get that idea set in stone. And once
you're making an income, it's important to have an LLC. Right away, you don't have to have one because, when you first start a business, you're not going to have a line around the corner of people. And I'm going to be honest, because you have to start from somewhere, right? Like, for example, Apple, Steve Jobs, he started in his garage. Mm-hmm. He didn't have sales. People were looking at him like, why are you in this garage wasting your time? Yeah. Creating these Macintosh, cubes.
Right.
And he believed in what he was
his vision.
Pursuing. Yeah. And, so that's what I'm saying is you have to start from somewhere. So don't be discouraged in the beginning, because it is hard. It's groundwork. It's you know, you have to have that hustle in you. You have to have that grit in you, that, okay, yes, I put new products. That
self-belief.
Yes, that self-belief and motivation and ambition, because you have to be your biggest fan.
Talk to him.
Because as much as, you know, family is great, everybody may have a support system. You have friends, you have family, but at the end of the day, you are going to be the one that's doing the groundwork, and you have to remind yourself of why you're doing it.
There it goes, the why.
A big thing when it comes to any business that you want to start, or anything that you would like to achieve.
Success you're chasing.
You need to have a why of why are you doing that? And it needs to be a good why, because if it's just because, you know, like it's just something to do, when it becomes hard and you may not be making the amount of sales that you're looking to make or expecting to make, it's going to be easy to give up if it's just because
if there's no why factor.
Just because, right? But if your why is because, you know, this business, I want to retire with this business.
Feed the family. You
know, I would like to create general wealth with this business. So when your why is a little bit stronger, and everybody's why is going to be different based off of their situation. Mm-hmm. But once you understand that, you're able to, you know, keep that in mind when times do get rough. You know, when it's a rough day, or you were up all night prepping things, you know, for the events, or when you're up all night making the product, or, you know, packaging the product, shipping them, it's work, it's effort, it's energy. You want to remember why you're doing it, the importance, you know, keep that drive, keep it up. There's a reason why.
That's right.
And as long as you remember that, you know, you failure will be basically
overcame.
Yes.
Very easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Day by day. That's amazing. Yep.
Failure will be eliminated.
Have your why factor so you can keep going when things get challenging, and the challenge will become fun to you when you're passionate at what you're doing and you have that great why factor. Like you need to feed your family. You want to do it for Mom Dukes. You want to do it for your siblings. You know what I'm saying? Why are you chasing this great success? Because I want to add this in here, because when we're chasing success, a lot of people, obviously, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I want to do this. You know, these guys make $100,000 a year. Oh yeah, these guys, you know, this field makes this much a year, this and that. But if you are not passionate in that field, if that specific sport, field, career path doesn't give you excitement, or you're not passionate behind it, or you don't have that why factor, eventually that challenge is going to be like, yeah, I'll pick this up later. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll give an example. Like I tried to rap at one point in my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to pursue it, but like I sat at home, I'd be in my room, like, you know what I'm saying? I might get bored or something, or go through a moment, and I'm like, you know what? Gotta get this off my chest. Go ahead and write. You know, that's what rappers say. Like I go through something, I start writing. Me personally, I start writing, and I'll get like a nice couple of bars, and then like I'll just like get stuck, and then like I'm like, man, I got a comedy show coming up. I know, man, I'm looking forward. So my passion isn't in that music, rapping and stuff, but I do have passion with entertainment. That's why we're here on the One Life podcast, and why I do what I do. And the why factor is for Mom Dukes, my little sister, and my family, my future family. So, you know, when those challenges do come, it's like I'm ready to keep hitting it head on.
Right.
Eventually I run through them. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Stiff arm, you know what I'm saying? Hurdle over those
humps.
Yeah, those humps and obstacles. Yeah.
They come. I mean, naturally in life, if you have a business or not, the hard times, they come. The rough days, they come. You know, even if you're working a 9-to-5, my 9-to-5ers, I respect you. You know,
get them bills paid, man.
Entrepreneur life is not for everybody. And the reason I say that is because it does require a lot of groundwork. There's a lot of things that you have to make sure that are in place, and continue to put them in place, right? Like when you check into a 9 to 5, you kind of have your day set up for you. But when you are an entrepreneur, you have the ability to plan your day out, and your day is going to go based off of how you're feeling and how you choose to have your day,
right?
And spend your day. So if you choose to be, in chill mode all day and not complete the things that you need to complete, you absolutely can do that, but you are kind of putting a detriment to your overall success in your journey. But you do have the luxury of being able to do that.
Right.
But like I said, entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but it is something that if you do have an idea in mind and it's something that you're passionate about, I definitely say,
tap into it.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it. You don't have to have everything checked off. You don't have to have a list. Just start somewhere, whether that be going to the store and looking in that aisle of that, product or item that you may be interested in selling, or maybe creating, or maybe making clothes or anything.
Yeah.
You just have to start somewhere. And the more you start researching and you start diving into that niche of whatever your interest is, the more you'll feel like, wow, okay, this makes sense. I understand the industry now. So when I'm ready to do this, I'm going to feel confident. I know how this goes,
Right.
I know the pricing of said item, and that too will build your confidence. So,
right.
Be patient with yourself and really put the time and effort to do the research. So, and also too, it makes you feel confident.
Yeah. That's key when it comes to chasing success, the confidence that you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
And that's why me personally, I like to read a lot of like bibliographies on other like comedians, entertainers, because when I read their books, they usually tell their story. Like that's why I bring great talent and people with a passion to the One Life podcast, so that way they can tell their story, because people watching, and like I said, when I read these bibliographies about other people's lives and journeys, it gives me sparks of confidence, because I may have read something that Mike Epps experienced through his journey to success that I also came encounter with, that I could relate to. And now it gives me that extra boost of confidence to be like, oh yeah, Mike did it. He's there. He made it. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to happen. For example, me as a comic, sometimes I go to comedy shows and I may be performing with big name comedians who've been in the game for years. And I go up there and I think I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. And I go and ask the OGs. I'm like, yo, OG, how you think I did? And he's like, yeah, I think I'll give you a 2. You know what I mean? A 2 out of 10. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like, but that right there is like, that challenge is exciting to me, because now next time I go, I want to get more than a 2. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And connecting to the self-belief. By them giving me a 2, I don't hang my head or nothing like that. I keep my head high and I say, you know what, watch next time I come back. And I believe that's the passion behind it all. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get a yes at the front door. You got to take a couple no's until you hit the jackpot, so to say.
Yeah. And actually, to follow up on that, it's like when someone does give you constructive criticism or any type of feedback,
right?
When you're starting anything new, really rely on those that, when they share something with you. Hey,
don't take it personal.
This product, it looks great. Or, hey, this smell isn't really that strong. I can't really smell it when I'm lighting the candle. Whatever the feedback is, whether it be positive or negative in however you take that, but you should really just use it as advice.
Great perception.
And just what it is, it's feedback, right? And that will help you shape your business. It will help you shape your business and overall be more successful, because the more feedback, as a business owner, you're doing everything. You're the one, I am the one that picks the jars, orders the jars, makes the wax, melts the wax, puts the wicks in. I am the one that measures everything and puts everything to how it presents
right.
as you see it. So I may, miss a step, or I may, it may not have the right amount of scent, right? And when I first started off, it's trial and error. And that's the first thing of any business is you need to find your product, whether it's you're making something, understand the recipe, figure it out. It took me so long to figure out the recipe for these candles. You have no idea. There was candles that burned and never smelled.
Yeah.
There was candles that, I lit them and they blew out on their own. I didn't have to blow them out.
Right.
They blew out on their own.
Yeah.
But that's a part of the journey. You have to love it, to love all the parts.
Right. And also to add to the business aspect of starting your own business and trying to get it running off the ground. There's festivals that you can also attend to, right? And bring your product, whatever products you have as a business owner, to promote yourself and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's important to plug in with your local communities, the festivals, the vendor shops, the pop-up shops. Yeah. These are important things as a new business owner, because you're establishing your brand, you're establishing your name. When you first start something, nobody knew Oral Aroma until I went public with that name, and I went public with the product and the website, and now I am marketing it as such. But before that, no one knew Oral Aroma, the connection between myself and Oral Aroma, right? Nobody knew that I was the CEO of Oral Aroma. But you have to start somewhere, and how you do that is the more events that you are at, the more networking that you do, the more it's important to connect with those around you. These events, pop-up shops are major if you have an item to sell. If you have a service that is your business, these networking events are still very valuable to present and offer your services to people.
Right.
Because that is another thing that I am in the service business as well. I do real estate. And
we about to talk about that. Yeah. How did you come upon starting your real estate journey?
So real estate, actually, it started off because I always wanted to own multiple properties of real estate. That really was that is still my main goal of doing real estate. Is I would like to understand the market. And now that I've been doing real estate now for a year and a half, I've been able to understand the market better. Now I know how to write contracts, for buyers, and how to represent buyers and sellers and help tenants. I speak with landlords. So these are roles that I one day will see myself in, and being able to connect with sellers of homes and landlords of homes and buyers of homes. I'm able to help assist in an educational way, because that's what I do as a realtor. I help assist people, but eventually I would like to be on the other side of, the closing table and be signing, those documents for my own purchase. And that's really why I got into real estate, because I never understood real estate, but I knew that I wanted to own a lot of land. It's one quote, it always stays in my mind. Kanye West, he said it, America's for sale, go buy it. And that quote right there is very powerful, and it's very true. The more property that you own, the more assets that you have, and ultimately the more net worth that you will have. There's many different ways of investing, but real estate is something that everybody will need a place to live.
It's kind of almost like a safe investment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
safer.
It depends
compared to other investments that you could kind of make if you were going to invest in some stocks or something like that. It's like, at least with real estate, it's like you're buying this land, this property, and it can't just disappear on you. You know what I'm saying? It could get broken down. It could get deteriorated if you don't take care of it, or whatever the case may be. Right. But ultimately, I buy this square foot, these acres of land. now I can just elevate from there. It's not just going to disappear. It's not going to drop one day and I'm in deficit.
Right.
So,
and that is the benefit of investing into real estate, is that initial investment you will put forward, it essentially over years, it will increase in value. And that's really why the Warren Buffetts of the world and, the Jeff Bezos of the world, that's why they invest their money into real estate. That's why they buy land. And that's why Kanye, he said, America's for sale, go buy it.
right.
Because ultimately the more that you own, the more assets and the more basically the backing that you have, that you can say is yours.
Right.
And, with that being said, that's really why I got into real estate to begin with. I really wanted to understand the market. The more I talk, the more I realize for myself that I'm a analytical researcher type of person. And that's really, the same concept that I've had with real estate. Getting into it a year and a half ago was because I wanted to know about the industry.
Right.
I can't just, at that time, I couldn't just go purchase a home. So the closest way that I could go purchase a home is, let me help somebody else purchase a home. And now I know what it takes to actually purchase a home.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the position to do so, I will be able to.
You got all the knowledge. Nobody can shortcut you or, anything. You already got your blueprint.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up right there. Let's get around the right. Let's go. We got the great talent. We got a very smart young lady in the building on the One Life podcast, the first lady to step foot in the booth on the One Life podcast. Man, this is amazing, man. This is great. Listen, man, I just want everybody to know out there, chase your dreams, go for your success. If you got an idea, reach for it, and just take it head on, man. Take it head on. Brings me to this question. What is a challenge that you have faced thus far on your journey to success that it may have been tough for you, like when it hit you like that? Like, I'll give you an example. For me, with my comedy and stuff like that, and putting out skits and stuff, it may have been my challenge in the beginning, may have been like the recognition that I was getting of like, oh, do people like this stuff that I'm putting out, or oh, am I funny enough for these people or stuff like that? That's just a voice in my head of a challenge that I overcame through my journey to my success. You know what I'm saying? So what has been some challenges that you have encountered on this journey through your real estate and through your candle business that you faced and like overcame and didn't allow it to like have you like stagnated or anything?
So when I actually started, before I actually got licensed to sell real estate, it took me a long time to actually pass the test, because in order to get licensed in any state, you have to pass, like, you have to go to school. Real estate school is a thing. A lot of people think, you could just get into real estate and you don't have to do schooling, but you actually complete like 175 hours of school.
Damn, yeah.
In order to then apply to take the state test as well as the national test. And these tests were hard. I'm not going to lie. They were hard. I'm usually a good test taker. I mean, I was pretty good in college. It's pretty good in high school.
Yeah, A student. Yeah, honor roll.
These tests were very challenging for me. It took me multiple times to pass these tests. And that was a big challenge because it was something that I wanted to do so bad, but I just couldn't get over that hump to begin with. It was like my starting point. I was so excited to get into this industry, and I for the life of me, I kept failing, and I kept failing these tests by 2-3 points. It wasn't like I was drastically failing these tests, but by a couple points I would miss it. And then I would take it again and have the confidence and be like, you know what, this time I'm going to pass, and I would just fail. And it took me a couple of times, I'm not going to lie, to pass that test, but perseverance is very important. You have to keep it. Do not give up. keep trying. If it doesn't work, try something new. And if that doesn't work, try something else. And it's that simple. And I got very creative with flashcards. I got very creative with study guides and buying, study courses and really, really studying. I think I overstudied, and I think I'm going to blame that's why I failed so many times.
Yeah.
But you can never be over prepared. But I felt like I was. I thought while I was taking the test a lot, I kind of thought maybe second guess some of my questions, and I didn't
trial and error and overcame. And
exactly. I share that with everybody to say that as long as you keep going, a year and a half later, before I was able to even start this journey, it took so many tries. Mm-hmm. And a year and a half later, I look back and I'm so happy that I did stick with it, and I did keep trying. I went back to I went back to my books. I invested in myself and got study courses to be able to pass the test, to be able to be in the position that I'm in now.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we got to give another one. We got to give another one for that. Give me some dap for that. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And so this is one question that I love to ask all of my gifted, talented, special individuals that come on the One Life podcast, man. What is some great advice? This is the One Life podcast, episode 24 with Alexys Naranjo. What is some great advice that you can give the audience watching, everybody out there in the world watching, those out there chasing their dreams and on their journey to success? What is some great advice that you can give them, those people out there at home watching, on chasing their success and chasing their dreams in this one life that we have to live?
What I'll say is, do it for you. Okay? Whatever it may be, do it for you. Put your time in, put your effort in, but do it for you ultimately. Because like I said, when you have that why, that will be your drive. That will be your reminder to keep the ball rolling, to keep that intensity. Don't give up. Don't have a weak mindset. You might have some tough days, and that's okay.
Some people just know that.
Do not give up on the end goal. Always keep the end goal in mind, and that's my advice, is always keep the end goal in mind. This is a journey. Life is ongoing, and it's very unpredictable sometimes. But you have to believe that in the end goal and keep it in mind, because you are working towards it. May not happen right now, but you will be able to reflect one day and say, wow, look at how far I've come. So just keep the end goal in mind.
Keep the end goal in mind, man. Like we said earlier, the path to success may change, but that end goal, that end mission will remain the same, man. Yeah. And there you have it, man. This is another episode of the One Life podcast. This is episode 24 with Alexys Naranjo. She has brought the oral aroma business to y'all. She has informed y'all on how to get started with real estate and all this great stuff, man. We got another wonderful, like I said, this is the first lady to come on the One Life podcast. Thank you so much for attending tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep rising and grinding and making our way to the top and inspiring those out there watching and giving motivation to the world. And like I love to tell people, continue to do it for your family, man, because there's the why right there. When you have that strong why, you going to always try. Put it like that. When you have that strong why, you're going to always try. And eventually that try is going to turn into great success. So there you have it. This is the One Life podcast, episode 24 with Alexys Naranjo. And your boy, your host, Todd Lawrence. Y'all have it, man. Y'all keep up the great work out there. Keep grinding. Stay positive. Stay golden and continue to spread the positivity. You know what I'm saying? And y'all stay blessed. I love y'all. Stay tapped in. Stay tuned. And we're going to continue to rise up. Listen, you have it. Oral Aroma, Alexys Naranjo. If you need to purchase a house, a property, tap in with her. Don't you? You didn't shout out your real estate company that you work for. Shout out.
Amantia Real Estate out of Mount Pocono, PA.
Yeah. Shout out Amanti Real Estate. You looking for property, houses, tap in Amanti Real Estate. You can find her on Instagram,
Yes.
Amanti Real Estate, Aura Laroma. Tell them the one.
My realtor Instagram tag name is Alexys, ALEXYS_realtor. And you can find me on Instagram. And I also have a Facebook page for my real estate. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or even rent,
tap in.
hit me up.
We here spreading the greatness around the world, man. Bit by bit, day by day. Thank God. One life. You have it. Episode 24. Love y'all. Peace.